wire is also marked, and we start usually at 1/2 meter into the water, and we watch to see what the numbers show us as the dissolved oxygen in this at this level in this pond.
So what we're seeing here on this little monitor are numbers flashing back and forth, and that's telling us how many parts of oxygen per milligrams per liter there are in the pond. And as the sensor goes down, it's changing numbers.
And we're seeing the temperature, which is usually easily stable.
What is the temperature of the water today?
It is in centigrade 26.2, which is warm. In April, it's often 12 now. So the second part of the water sample taking is that in April, we do go to a different lab. We go to the Provincetown Center for Coastal Studies to get the samples analyzed. And in April, when we supposedly take samples of the water before the growth has started in the pond, it's our baseline, we use different vials. You saw the big brown bottle, as we call it, for S-mast in August. But in April, we use small vials like this, and they are siphoned from the sampler using this syringe with an open end on the sampler. So fresh in August, when the peak growing season is here, and frozen samples that go to Center for Coastal Studies. And I want to also say that the Cape Cod National Seashore did our analysis for many, many years, and they were very, very generous with us. Because of sequester, they have had to stop. They've lost staff. They've had to stop doing it. So the Center for Coastal Studies lab is doing the same procedure for us, trained by the Seashore Lab people. We've recorded all of this. This usually contains the directions for calibrating the dissolved oxygen meter, for taking the Secchi clarity samples, for filling the bottles. We have lots and lots of paper, waterproof paper, I might add. We usually have in here a form that names the sampler, names the pond, names the date and time, and just says at what depth did you take the dissolved oxygen, at what depth temperature. And we use that as part of the record.
One of the things I'm hearing you say, and I think this is important to note, is that all of this testing is calibrated and regulated and standardized each and every time.
Yes, that's true. We calibrate that meter that I showed you, the dissolved oxygen meter, every time we go out. We calibrate it in the beginning of the season by bringing it to the lab where they look at the parts to make sure they're all in working order, test them against each other, actually, to see that they're all testing them out of a pond.